So the topic I want to talk to you about today is very important when considering hip and knee replacement, and that's how you choose your surgeon. So every year, millions of Americans will consider and go through with hip and knee replacement. And in this process, they have to choose the surgeon that will perform the surgery. This is a critical choice. So why does this choice matter? I would use the analogy of a building contractor. When you engage with a building contractor to build your house, you're engaging in a long-term relationship, a relationship of trust and trusting the expertise of that person. The same is true with choosing a surgeon to perform hip and knee replacement. When you choose a building contractor that brings out a brick mason, you could have a beautiful home with the brickwork perfect, or you could end up with brickwork that has significant mistakes. The same is true with orthopedic surgeons. Just like builders, orthopedic surgeons aren't all exactly the same. So what can go wrong with surgery? In short, a lot. Fortunately, for most surgeons experienced in hip and knee replacement, outcomes overall are great. They're some of the best procedures in all of medicine. But there are things that can go significantly wrong, and it's important that you understand that. So your surgeon has to be technically proficient in handling the soft tissues to reduce your pain afterwards and allow quick recovery. The surgeon has to avoid structures that we don't want to damage during surgery, things like nerves, vascular structures, and other important structures around the joint. The surgeon has to appropriately size and align the implant to get the extremity aligned appropriately and to have function appropriate. In the knee, it's important to get the ligamentous balance appropriate such that the knee will have adequate range of motion and the knee will feel more natural. In the hip, it's important to get the legs the correct length. It's important to orient the components, the socket and the implant, in a way such that it reduces the risk of having a hip dislocation or instability of the hip. It's important for the surgeon to have meticulous sterile technique and to be efficient at the surgery to reduce the risk of infection. And it's important for the surgeon to know how to properly place the components, whether using cement or what we call press fitting the components. Either way, it's important to get those components stable such that the knee or the hip doesn't fail at 2 to 3 years after surgery and last decades and decades, which the goal is. So how do you choose a surgeon? No matter where you are in the country, I think you can use these criteria to help determine what surgeon may be a good surgeon for you. There's actually been multiple studies on this from other orthopedic surgeons looking at this topic. And so I'm going to go through some of the key findings. The first finding is surgical volume. It's common sense. You want a surgeon that does a lot of the type of surgery that you're going to have. The more you do of something, the better you get at it. So looking at surgical volume is important. You want a surgeon that's doing hundreds and hundreds of joint replacements every year. And that's a good sign that this surgeon may be proficient in doing this and provide the outcome you want. Another key you can look for is fellowship training in joint replacement. A fellowship is a 1 year of additional training that's undertaken after residency. And many surgeons that are high volume in joint replacement have also done a fellowship in joint replacement surgery. That's another key factor to look at. You also want to look at a surgeon whose focus is joint replacement. This is not a side focus of his or her practice, but this is the main focus of their practice. They are a hip and knee replacement specialist, and this is what that surgeon does. I think listening to other patients, asking patients who have undergone hip or knee replacement in your community about their experience, about their clinical outcomes, about their experience with the surgeon and that surgical practice is important. And also talk to your primary care doctors. Primary care doctors know about the outcomes from dealing with their patients. And so talking to your primary care is critical in gaining more information. And the final thing is meeting the surgeon in person. Does this person exude confidence? Does this person seem like the type of person you want to engage in a long-term relationship with? How is the bedside manner? Do you see yourself being in a long-term doctor-patient relationship with this surgeon? So in my experience, I see patients come in and who've had surgeries by outside surgeons, and fortunately, most people have done quite well. I also see patients from time to time who've had less than ideal experiences and less than ideal outcomes, where I can tell that mistakes have been made or maybe surgeon training experience wasn't what it should be. And so for those patients, I do know that if they had chosen a different surgeon, a surgeon with more expertise in the field, they may have had a different outcome. The bottom line is that choosing your surgeon is a big decision, and it's one that you should make in an informed fashion. It's one that you should think through. There are questions you should ask, and my goal is for you to take these criteria and be able to make the best choice possible for you and your care.